Am I the a-hole for refusing to swap seats on a flight after what she said to me? I, 32 male, was flying home after a brutal work week. I paid extra for an aisle seat because I'm tall and have knee issues. It wasn't cheap, but it was worth it to me. Boarding goes normally until a woman, late 30s, stops next to my row and sighs loudly. She's traveling with a kid around 6 or 7. She asks if I'll switch seats with her so she can sit next to her son. I check her ticket. She's in the middle seat several rows back. I politely say no and explain that I paid extra for this seat and really need the leg room. She immediately gets annoyed and says, "Wow, I guess comfort matters more than a child." That rubbed me the wrong way. But I stayed calm and repeated that I wasn't switching. She then rolls her eyes and mutters, "Men like you are why flying is miserable." At this point, other passengers are looking at me like I kicked a puppy. A flight attendant comes over and asks what's going on. The woman explains that I refused to help a mother and her child. I explain my side and show my ticket. The flight attendant sides with me and tells her she'll see if anyone else is willing to switch. The woman huffs and glares at me and says loudly, "Unbelievable. Some people are just selfish." I ignored her and put my headphones on, but it didn't end there. About an hour into the flight, I get up to use the bathroom. When I come back, my aisle seat is taken. The woman is sitting in it. She looks at me and says, "Oh, I thought you wouldn't mind. You were already up." I was stunned. I call the flight attendant again. The woman argues that it's basically the same seat and that I should just let it go. The attendant makes her move immediately. The rest of the flight, the woman kept loudly complaining about entitled people and how kids aren't respected anymore. When we landed, she told her kid very clearly, "See, some adults don't know how to share." I didn't respond. Now here's the part that I'm conflicted about. Several passengers thanked me for standing my ground, but one person told me I should have just switched seats to avoid the drama. So now I'm wondering, am I the a-hole for refusing to switch seats after how she treated me? It kind of feels like there's two different types of people in this situation and similar situations where it's not a question of whether or not you have to do something because there's some authority telling you that you have to do it, but more or less a moral type situation where it would make you a very nice person to help someone out in this kind of situation, even though there's literally nothing making you do it. And in that situation, you would be putting your own feelings and thoughts and comfort, in this case, aside to help a mother and her child, in this case, right? And there is a part two to this, and we'll get to that in a second. It's just amazing to me that she was spouting all this crap to her kid about how people are entitled and that people don't know how to share. The entitlement piece here, I think, is approaching someone that paid for a specific seat. They had to pay extra for it, and you're trying to get them to give that seat up for your benefit, even though you have no idea who they are and they have no obligation to do anything for you unless they're feeling nice. And you proceed to act as though they've insulted your great ancestors because they won't bend to your will, or because people don't respect children, or whatever self-entitled crap that you were spouting to everybody on the plane that somehow just seemed like they were siding with the OP in some cases. And then to have someone in the end like say to this person like, "Oh, you should have just did the thing so that we could have all avoided this drama." It's like, well, this person needs to figure out how to avoid their own drama. Let's see what the part two is all about. A few days after I got home, I received an email from the airline. Apparently, multiple passengers reported the same woman for disruptive behavior during the flight. Not just about the seat issues, but for arguing with staff and being verbally aggressive. Because of that, the airline refunded my seat upgrade and gave me a travel credit for the inconvenience. Here's the twist I didn't see coming. The woman did not get the same treatment. According to the email, and later confirmed by a customer service rep, she was flagged for future flights and warned that continued behavior like that could lead to a temporary ban. But wait, there's more. One of the passengers who thanked me on the flight turned out to work for the same company I do. We ended up chatting on LinkedIn, and last week he referred me to a promotion I didn't even know was opening, and I got it. As for the seat switch woman, she apparently made a public Facebook post ranting about heartless strangers on planes. Someone in the comments mentioned my version of the story, including how she took my seat while I was in the bathroom. She deleted the post after that. So no, I don't feel bad anymore. I didn't cause the drama, I just refused to reward it. Thanks to everyone who weighed in. Verdict accepted, not the a-hole. 100% agree. And I think her stealing his seat while he went to the bathroom was really the icing on the cake with that one, because it was already so extra for her to be so dramatic about everything and causing that scene that all of the other passengers had to overhear because they're stuck on this freaking plane. And it sounds like nobody else wanted to reward her bad behavior either, because it sounded like she was stuck going back and forth checking on her child. I don't know how people find themselves in this situation where they can't just book 2 seats together. I don't know if these people do something where they get a discount for booking in a certain way, and then that somehow means that they don't have 2 seats together with their child, and they just think that, oh, people will be nice and switch with me, which may very well be the case sometimes, but you can't expect that is going to happen. Therefore, it is your responsibility to make sure you're booking things in the way that is going to get you a seat next to your child, if that is something that you are worried about. Personally, if your child is old enough to be able to entertain themselves with an iPad on airplane mode or something, then I guess it's probably not a big deal. I don't know. I've never found myself in this kind of situation myself, so I don't know. But it's not like you're going anywhere. You're both going to be strapped into seats on this thing in the air for who knows how long. But again, if you're that worried about sitting next to your child, which is a valid concern, then you need to book things properly and not bug strangers and make them feel as though they are obligated to do a nice thing for you and not treat them like they squished a puppy for holding their ground and maintaining the thing that they paid extra for. That's all I got. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.